Good evening, friends, and for joining me. Sorry if I think I was on mute for a bit. I think now I'm fine. So I'll just wait for. I'll just get my producer to send me the YouTube link so that I can put that on my Telegram and Twitter page, and after that we can start. Yeah, I think it should be here soon. Yeah, I have it now. So there it is. I was on mute for a bit. I think now I'm fine. Sorry, just 1 second. I'll just put it YouTube live. Yeah. Okay. So finally, so good to see all of you. And uh, let's talk about the market for a bit. Apologies, we have not been able to do for so long, but since so many of you messaged me today that they wanted to sort of attend this YouTube live, I thought we'll do it. So now the reason uh, we a lot of people asked me was uh, how did I sort of stick my neck out about today's trade? And I think the reason on that is very simple. If you've been seeing the data on the FIS side, they have been trying to hammer the market for long, but the market just refused to go. When the market refuses to go on one side, the market goes on the other side. It's a very simple and well defined sort of market trade. And when the market refuses to go down on perceived bad news, the market will go up. Also, you will remember that the market keeps getting oversold and keeps getting overbought, but in between it keeps getting back to equilibrium. What is that equilibrium? The 20-day moving average to begin with. And today, what you would have seen is that the market went to 20-day moving average. Immediately, it slipped. After that, I wanted to put this on Telegram, but I sort of avoided that. Is that if it had to take out this 20 DMA again, after that, it won't stop up until the 200-day moving average. And I think tomorrow morning you'll have the test of the 200-day moving average. So I think 17,000 is a done deal now. My sense is that it might stretch a bit to 17,200 as well. And after that, we will see because there's a Fed event which is there. And based on that, I think the market will perhaps make a sort of next move. The other thing which sort of struck me in the morning was why was the SGX down so much? I was looking at the Dow futures, they were up. I was looking at a couple of markets. I was looking at dollar index, it was behaving itself. I looked at the US bond yields, they were behaving themselves. I looked at crude, it was behaving itself. There was no reason for the market for the SGX Nifty to be down. The SGX Nifty was down because Chinese market had a big decline. Now, what China is seeing right now are their own issues. COVID, which is really impacting them, and tech. So that is the crux of the issue. In some sense, it means, and if you've heard me in the morning also talk about it, that would mean benefit for Indian companies because at the end of the day, from purely from the economy point of view, as you saw with a couple of stocks like Deepak Nitrite or Dixon, that's just an example. But in larger scheme of things, if China suffers, India benefits. It's a standard this thing. So that is why you saw that move play out, and that is why I stuck my neck out. And the other point I made was about the Bank Nifty giving a better risk reward because the mean reversion on Bank Nifty was way far. The 20-day moving average, the 200-day moving average was way off on the Bank Nifty. So that's why that was a better trade. So that is why I sort of gave that call in the morning. Okay, let me take some questions now. Dr. Lal Bhaskar, see, Dr. Lal is a great company and managed by a great CEO. So my sense is that at some point it will become buy again, but I don't know whether right now is the time. Venu, thank you so much. Yes, the trade setup worked beautifully today, and I'm happy about it because when it works well, I feel happy because a lot of you trust me blindly, and hence when it goes wrong, I feel bad about it because while I can't get it right every time, but I try to sort of I put a lot of effort into that, so that is why. Thank you, Chirag. Thank you so much. What can be the impact of Fed meeting on Indian equities on Thursday? Viraj, I think Viraj, look, now the market knows that there's going to be a rate hike. I think what you want to hear from Fed is how many and at what pace, 7 or 8, and whether this Russia-Ukraine crisis is going to have any impact. Uh, but I'll tell you one thing: the Fed itself is not a risk because, as Ramdev pointed out the other day, if something is known, it's not a risk. Risks always come from something which we don't know. Like Russia, Ukraine was something which we didn't know. It came out of that. Inflation and a massive inflation was something we didn't know, and that's where the risk came off. So let's see. My sense is that the market has now priced in rate hikes, and now the market will need something really catastrophic to beat the recent lows. It can still do that, but let's see. Uh, Thank you, Ankit. Thanks a lot for such kind words. You really made my evening. Uh, Please continue YouTube. I will try to. It's just that off late there's just too much happening in the evening, and I don't get sort of time to do it. Otherwise, I would love to do it. Coforge. See, my problem with Coforge is I don't know what is in this promoter's mind. It's they started at 71%, but they got it down to I think 50%. Now they sold another 10%, and the erstwhile promoters used to have 30%. Do they want to get down to 30%? I don't know what's happening. And the problem is every time the stock runs up, Bearings comes and sells it, and lock, stock, and barrel 10%. 10% is a very large amount. So I think that is going to be always the concern with Coforge. One reason Coforge used to outperform was because there was no floating stock. Promoters used to own 71%. Rest was with institutions, and retail public had almost nothing. That's why it used to go up a lot. Now promoter stake is down to almost 40%. So the float has gone up. So and it's a very expensive stock. Okay, it's the most expensive mid cap IT stock. So do keep that in mind. Okay, that's what I would say. I think BPCL and HPCL. Look, the issue with BPCL and HPCL is when you have a business in which it depends on the whims and fancies of the largest shareholder, whose objective is not just the profit maximization for the company, but a larger public interest. I think in that case, you always have these kind of issues. Rajiv, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. I must say that Bajaj Finance is not performing. I mean, Bajaj Finance goes through these phases every once in a while, but every 4 years it doubles your money. That's been the trend, and so normally something which works like that works out again. Of course, it's a not a recommendation. Do ask your financial advisor. Uh, so let's see. Godrej Properties. I think Godrej Properties has corrected quite a bit. Again, it's an expensive stock, but then it's a Godrej Group stock, so it obviously has some bit of valuation premium. So let's see. Dark horse sector. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Dark horse sector. What can be dark horse sector? I would still say banks because you never know when the recovery happens whether banks will lead it. So Deepak Nitrite already went up today. So let's see. It's a very expensive stock again. So IEX, IEX now exchanges are once again gaining some traction. So let's see. I think Jubilant today's market reaction, by end it should have recovered, but it didn't. So it almost closed at low point of the day. So I think maybe there's some more downside left on Jubilant. I think it perhaps goes to its 52-week low. 2300, 2400 is where the 200-week moving average is for Jubilant Foodworks. I think that is an all-important support because bull market stocks do not break 200-week moving average. If you drop a weekly chart and drop a 200-period average, you will see that at 2300 it will be a 200-week moving average. It better defend that because if it doesn't, then it can fall another 30-40%. My sense is it should not because Pratik Pota has left some really good legacy and the next management should have it easy from here on. But then, in markets, you never know. So keep an eye on the price action is what I would say. Yeah. McDowell not going up at all. I agree. And I think I'm surprised, I must say. But let's see. I think it's still a stock which has a lot of value. Of course, this is not a recommendation. Do consult your advisor. Karthik, see, the problem is right now we are not allowing anyone from outside to come into our office unless they are guests on the channel. and that too is a long process. So hopefully, when things get better, I'll be uh, it'll be lovely to meet you. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Do mail me and do come. It's okay. I'll love to meet you. No, I think you avoid stocks like Indiabulls, Zomato, Paytm. Of course, do consult your financial advisor because look, I mean, when till the time the market gives you stability sign, there's no point. Look, this is one thing which I want to keep telling people. There's no brownie point for getting bottom right. And there's no brownie point for making money in one stock. There are so many stocks available, and you don't need to get bottom right. There are a lot of people who say, "Oh, I didn't buy at 600. Now it's already gone up to 800." But you can buy at 800 if it has to go to 1600. How does that matter? And at the end of the day, it's your quantity of the stock that you take that's going to decide your sort of overall outcome. So don't be fixated with catching the bottom. This is this is one of the sins of stock markets, is what I would say. So that is what I would say. Okay, now Shree Cement is at 52-week low is because see, Shree Cement used to get a lot of valuation premium because it was the largest backward integrated player. Now a lot of companies are doing that, so that's why that premium is coming off a little bit for Shree Cement. That is the reason that you're seeing this bit of profit taking on Shree Cement. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. It was nice to have this chat going with you after a really long time. I will try to perhaps continue doing it. But for now, thank you so much. Good night. See you tomorrow.